Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Medieval Kingdoms Total War 1212 AD. We have another online multiplayer battle replay. This time around, it's a 2v2 with an alliance between the Teutonic Order and the HRE, the Holy Roman Empire, versing a rather unorthodox alliance. We've got the Papal States and the Ottoman Empire. So if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. It's going to be a good one. They're playing on a snowy map. It's on the top of a huge hill as well, so looking at the terrain and topography, there will be some high ground advantage here, particularly with the Ottoman and the Teutonic Order and HRE side. But the scenario for this one, I guess the Teutonic Order and the HRE have united for some reason against the papacy. Maybe it's been captured by Ottoman sympathizers potentially, and it is all, it's not the papacy in all but name. Maybe the Pope has converted, potentially we can say, but it is currently about a 60% favour in the HRE way. It's super close, this one, really hard to call. However, over the last couple of replays that I've featured on the channel, the Ottoman Empire and their Sultanate seems to be such a competitive and strong faction. And as you can see here, there's some cannons flying off as the Teutonic Order moves up some knights. So the Ottomans, sitting back in their defensive position, will be able to fire with ease. So they're a little bit spaced out a bit. It looks like the HRE Teutonic Order alliance, they seem to be clustered a lot more, but some skirmish cavers come on to meet the Ottoman front, and they are just getting absolutely hammered and peppered on down with Ottoman skirmishers and firepower there. And there was only a little bit of a skirmish off there before the cavalry had to withdraw and retreat. So it does look like the papacy here and the Ottomans are taking sort of the left-hand side, the low-lying side of the hill. So the Teutonic Order and the HRE will have the high ground advantage. But here is the papacy, corrupted and captured by the East. And the Emperor and the Teutonic Order want to bring it down. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait to see who will win this one out. Okay, just skipping a little bit ahead. Both players just moving and maneuvering slightly. The papacy has actually advanced further to the forest, while the Ottomans seem cool, calm and collected in holding their position. There has been some cavalry flanked around and some skirmishing going on, but nothing too crazy for now. Both just trading skirmisher fire and ammunition back and forth. But let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to win? And make sure to pat yourselves on the back if you get it right, of course. So the papacy seems to be holding a lot more, but they just don't have that gunpowder and skirmisher supremacy compared to the Ottomans by the look of it. Taken a little while for them to maneuver, but the Holy Roman Empire and the Teutonic Order are going to advance upon the Ottomans in a defensive position. Will they be able to break through? Who knows, because the papacy have pushed further down the hill and they're not going to be able to help out as they come on in. The Ottomans trading back with some fire flammable ammunition. So it looks like they will have the high ground and charge advantage slightly if they throw everyone in. But it looks like the HRE and the Teutonic Order are focusing all their infantry against the Ottomans. We're about to get a charge on here. The Ottomans are moving up on the high ground. And fierce fighting is now breaking out with the Ottoman front line and the brave men of the Holy Roman Empire. Okay, both were trading quite innocuously. Oh, looks like the Ottomans have brought up some Byzantine units. Yeah, they look like Scutari swordsmen there. Oh, maybe it's a bit of an Orthodoxy hybrid army as well. Okay, so they've broken through that position there. Their skirmishers are now retreating. The papacy is reforming, but will it be enough? As look at this. Allied cavalry is swinging on through. Will they be able to hold the top here? But maybe the Ottoman player isn't too phased. He seems to be cool, calm, and collected in holding here. Maybe it's like, well, I'm going to stand and fight. And if you think you can take me on in this position, come at me. I'm going to try and take down as many of you as I can. And then allow the fresh and eager Papal State player to sit in defense and just soften them up before they attack. But he's losing a fair few men here. They are bringing in some cavalry. And they're starting to surround here, but the Ottomans are retreating. It just depends how long he can hold and how many he can take on with him. We've got some HRE swordsmen flying on in with some cavalry support as well. But the Ottomans are not looking too healthy. Just with that high ground advantage, doesn't help. And now with archers flanking, giving some support. Oh my god! That guy got kicked by a horse. Poor fella. Imagine getting taken out that way. That's the rule. Never walk behind a horse. Sometimes I guess you don't have an option if you're fighting in a battle. But the Ottomans seem to be wavering more so there than the Teutonic Order and HRE Alliance. And it's nearly a 20,000 man battle. The papacy and the Ottomans deployed 9,400, had 1,000 more than the other alliance there, but it's still way too close to call. A lot of units still on either side. Got some crossbow support coming on in here. But it's always good to see the HRE and the Teutonic Order allying up. I would have liked to see them facing, like, I don't know, maybe a rogue Germanic kingdom, like the Bavarians or the Bohemians or something, or the Lithuanians in the Far East. But yeah, it's a rather unorthodox alliance. The Ottomans and the papacy. But to be fair, it looks like the Ottomans have pretty much capitulated now and have lost holding there as the tide of the Teutonic Order and the Romans come surging on through. The Ottomans have even pulled back some of their skirmishers and infantry further down the hill just to stagger the retreat. Because look, if they're still trying to hold, they're committing to hold, you might as well get some skirmisher firepower and support and up and over the top. They might even be able to retreat back to the papacy position if they have to. But it just depends. Although it's a 2v1 here against the Ottomans, will it be worth doing it if they just lose too many? Because they're quite happy to trade. Okay, we've got some cavalry flanking around here. But it's still going to be a super close one. I honestly don't know who's going to win. Okay. So there's still 1,000, it's closer to 800 now. Manpower sway. So it's still quite negligible. Yeah, so just looking at the tick rate of both of those armies and units, it is still really quite close. Although the Ottomans are being pulled back, it is really, really costing the Teutonic Order and the Holy Roman Empire to destroy, break, and phase on out the Ottoman player. He's really holding his own. So that means the alliance will be incredibly exhausted units-wise, pushing against the papacy, defending on up, just sitting back, relaxing, watching the Ottomans do the work. Man, oh man, the Ottoman Sultanate units, they perform tremendously well in these online battles, from what I've seen. The units do so well. It's cool to see. Really competing with these high Western medieval powers. Here we go. Whoa! What a crazy animation there. The Ottomans hacking and slashing their way on through, as they're still staggering their retreat as well, moving back to the papacy. Okay, so we've got a cavalry charge on here against the papacy in their defensive position. The Ottomans have mostly been neutralized, and now the Teutonic Order, allied with the Holy Roman Empire, needs to start putting some pressure on the papacy in this defensive position. They are absolutely exhausted and fatigued for making their way down the mountain/hill, and now they have to beat the papacy that all just stands in their way. The Ottomans have brought in some of the last remaining stranglers from that offensive, but will they be able to break through the papacy's block? Only time will tell, I guess. Okay, they're maneuvering around here as well. Both sides have units wavering back and forth, but the amount of decimation that happened on the top of that hill is crazy. Oh, looks like they're trying to break through the eastern side here, and they've got a flying wedge charge. The Teutonic Order flying on in with their heavy cavalry. If they can find a breach and a break on through, they might get lucky. So we've got some Holy Roman Empire spearmen descending down the hill here. We'll have the high ground advantage. And can they just charge and push and break their way on through? There are some pikes behind. It looks like most of the offensive is coming from the north. Dude, I can't imagine how exhausted and just fatigued and sort of wet with snow. Like, you forget that snow's so wet as well. Must be freezing out there in this battle. So here are some of the Ottomans that managed to survive the first battle in this land battle. Now it's swung to a second offensive now. So this is kind of a two-parter here. So there are some skirmishers trying to break through this position, but looking at the casualties sustained and inflicted, they've managed to get it back into a 400-man swing. So although they were doing quite well beforehand, it looks like the Teutonic Order and the HRE are really pushing through this papacy defensive position. Still about 300 now. Oh, the tick rate is coming even, and it might actually get to a stage, if it keeps at this rate, that the papacy and the last lot of the Ottomans will be losing more men at a rate than the HRE. They are really breaking on through this defensive position. Although they're exhausted, they are blood sickened, I guess. They are just battle hardened now, and they just are keen to go home and get this one wrapped up. Wow, what a crazy fight this has been. And it looks like the cavalry have actually broken their way on through. So both sides just grinding on out here. Can they break their way through? Okay. So it looks like the papacy are actually holding on here a bit. Oh, wow. And they just couldn't break their way on through the grind. It has ended in a Teutonic Order close defeat. After all that, crazy. Yeah, so the battle replay ended just there. Damn. Sometimes it bugs out like that, which is annoying. Sometimes the saves aren't compatible, or sometimes people, it's not rage quit, they just like, it's a GG, we'll end it there. We can't come back from this position. It's obviously hard to tell which one it is sometimes. But yeah, looks like the papacy managed to win on out. They just couldn't break down through that block, although they were doing so well towards the end. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this 2v2 online battle replay. It was a good one. It looked like the HRE and the Teutonic Order were communicating more. They made the decision to keep their men tight and close together and rotate and move in one tight cohesion position, while the Ottomans were happy to stagger, and the papacy stagger the battle. Although they were looked like they were fighting for themselves, they were allowing to play, hey, I'm going to take the brunt of the assault. I'm going to try and take out as many of these guys as I can. I'll soften them up for you, and then you sit back with your men fresh, and then, yeah, basically make them fight like mini sieges around the battle map and just hold that defensive position. It was a good one, but you've got to admire the aggression and high-octane attack of the Teutonic Order and the HRE. Just looked to pushing and continuing and wanting to go forward, which is good. It was a really good battle. Really quite enjoyed that one. Shout out to the players in this battle as well. So unfortunately, I've got to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to play the outro now. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you want to stay connected with me. I also want to say thank you to this month's patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tao, Lion B, Kyle P, Tom C, and White P. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.